Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Welcome back. This is clearly going to be one of those playlist days. Yeah, because I am telling you, it is just crazy. And, I have to say, I'm using Digicel today, right? Because I have so much problem with Flow. And not only that, because Flow now has me on 2G, because apparently once you, according to them, use 4G, even though they claim that you have unlimited service, it's not unlimited. So they give it to you up until 4G, 4 gigs, and then thereafter they cut it down to 2 gigs. And that would not work for this program. So I switched over now to Digicel, and I'm using now Digicel's 4G on 6 gigs, and this is what's happening. Can you imagine? But you saw what happened, like I said yesterday on the press briefing, right? Oh my God. We need good internet service providers in this country, people. Don't you see that? When are we going to get some competition up in here? Yeah? So I was telling you that about the fact that we wouldn't have known about that laboratory staff member if it wasn't for the Q&A section. We have to respect, our journalists, even though sometimes they do, they don't really perform as they should. But every once in a while they get it right, don't it? Because some of the things that we're learning about, it's only during the Q&A that they come out, because the government is not telling us anything. You don't see that? Because if the question was not asked, we wouldn't have known about this person having COVID-19 at the lab. Oh my God. I mean, it is sad, but it is ironic, and there is some humor in it too. You have to take bad things, make laugh, as they say. That's an ongoing story, guys, or a developing one, which will be ongoing. So you'll hear more as the time continues, all right? 9 p.m. until 5 a.m. Yeah. So until May 31st. So after the Labor Day holidays is ended, your new normal for curfew hours is going to be from 9 p.m. until 5 a.m. Yeah. In addition, there are other change orders that have been changed. The Prime Minister says church services can resume starting Saturday, May 16th for probationary period, right? There are some very, very, very strict guidelines, which I'm going to give to you shortly, right? And also, the bars have been open for 2 weeks, effective 11 a.m. on the 19th of May 2020 for 2 weeks. Physical distancing rules to apply within the sanctuary worship space, according to the Prime Minister. There should be a ratio of square footage to persons, that is, according to him, one person per 40 square feet. That, of course, will be determined by the number of persons in that space. So, according to the Prime Minister, you should have at least an arm length apart from each person in the sanctuary. Yeah? He says social distancing rules continue to apply throughout the church spaces. That means that everyone should be at least 6 feet apart. Now, it's kind of confusing what he's saying, doesn't it? Yeah? And how are you going to maintain this? Is there going to be a police at these places? Anyways, he says temperature checks to be done prior to entry. The gathering rules also apply for all the other spaces that are outside of the sanctuary, right? So therefore, there shall be no gathering at the entrance of the sanctuary, none at the gate, none in the churchyard, none in the annex. No meetings. And for greetings, it says no meetings and greetings. There must be no handshaking or embracing. And social distancing must be maintained, the minister said. Everyone must wear a mask. Can you imagine this, guys? Um, should I give you my 2 cents on that? Or should I continue first? Yeah. So let me continue. And let me give you. So he called the Minister of Local Government and Community Service, the Honorable Desmond Mackenzie, to give you the details concerning the rules for the bar. Because remember, the churches are open and the bars too. So according to, these are the criteria now for the bars. The same physical social distancing must be must be maintained. There should be no more than 5 persons plus, sorry, in addition to the bartender. That means 4 patrons and the bartender, making 5 persons in all in the bar. Yeah. There should be no seating arrangements for persons. That means no tables, no chairs, no benches, no bar stools. Okay. There's seating arrangements should be 6 feet apart. So that makes no sense to me. I don't even understand how that works, because if you're no seating arrangement, there are no seating arrangements. So how can it be seating arrangements should be 6 feet apart, right? There are no tables. No events promoting social gatherings, okay? So no parties, as I said, no round robins, okay? Windows must be kept open, all right? And persons must wear their masks and protective clothing. There must be a sanitation station, and sanitation station must also be at the church, the sanctuary, right? And at the bars, it must be a sanitation station. The persons can use the sanitizer, right? Persons 65 and over must stay home. They must not be out. If you're 65 and over, you cannot go. If you're 65 and over, you cannot go to the sanctuary and you cannot go to the bar. See? Although, according to the minister, you're to try to resist the operation of the spirit. And pun is intended. So you can take it anyhow you want to take it. So, of course, the minister also said that they're going to work, they're putting protocols in place to work with the Minister of Justice to ensure that these bar operations, they all become compliant in terms of registering. Yeah, so let me give my 2 cents on that piece before I go any further. So guys, now, okay, now I'm gonna tell you something, you see, if I had like a physical location where I had a sanctuary and I had a congregation, they would arrest me already, they would lock me up. You know why they would lock me up? Because they fail to recognize and to understand that there's always a separation between church and state. There is always. You check every constitution, even in the US Constitution, there's supposed to be a separation of church and state. And you don't really, as a state, even though you have authority, you understand, you're not supposed to be dictating to the church. And remember, the church of people, okay, who are worshiping God Almighty. Yeah. And all of these rules and regulations that you're putting in place, which is, as far as I'm concerned, to be quite honest with you, it's totally ridiculous. You'd have come and arrested me because I would have been breaking these rules. I'm telling you straight up now. God is good all the time. It's the reason He does not allow me to have a sanctuary anywhere. But He doesn't want me in 4 walls because He's not in 4 walls anyway. You understand me? So my ministry does not dictate for me to be in the confines of 4 walls. My ministry is global, right? I have persons who follow me in Timbuktu, in South Africa, in Nigeria, in Ghana, yeah, all over the world, in Israel, yeah. I have persons who follow me from Israel, yeah. So the point is, that's what God wants. God wants us not to be having Him in a box and to be in the 4 walls, because the people are out there. You're supposed to minister to persons everywhere, and you won't find them in the quote unquote church, yeah. So for me, that is fine. But for the persons who this applies to, or to whom this applies, they will have to adhere to this. So my question is, how are you going to monitor this? How are you going to police this? Are you going to be going around all of these different sanctuaries to see if persons are abiding, right? If they, yes, I can understand you'll have your public health inspector who is going to go periodically to ensure that there is a sanitation station there. But for every service, and apparently, according to the Prime Minister, the person's supposed to have a couple of services, because one service, if you have, for example, 400 congregants, then and practicing social distance, you would have to keep at least 2, 3 or more services, right, per day. So are you going to have police going to these places, all of these sanctuaries, right? And there are more than 10,000 of them in the island, right? Are you going to go around to all of these places to do an inspection to ensure that persons are armed with apart according to you, right? I don't see this happening. And the same thing with the bars. I don't understand this either. So at the bars now, you're going to a bar to have a drink and you're wearing your mask. I went on the road yesterday, guys, and I'm telling you, so I had my mask on and I wanted to eat something and I had to take off the mask. I couldn't eat with the mask on. I had to take off the mask to eat. Yeah. I don't know if it is mind over matter, but when I came home last night, I was sneezing so much. I was because I had to take off the mask. I can't eat with the mask on. You're going to bar to have a drink. You can't have a drink with the mask on. So, I mean, I really don't understand, what is happening here because all of these things that I'm listening to, honestly, they really don't make much sense to me, to be honest with you, Mr. Prime Minister. What is happening here makes no sense at all to me. Yeah, because if it is that you're just basically saying, okay, go to the bar, have a drink, you got to stand up because first of all, you can't sit bars are opening at 11 a.m. guys, so you're being sanctioned to go have your first drink 11 in the morning when you should be having your brunch. You can have a drink, but I'm saying, don't they sell alcohol at the supermarkets? Yeah. Yeah, and thank you for that thumbs up. Yes, thank you for keep your thumbs up coming. Yes, but I'm saying, don't they sell alcohol at supermarkets? So why would you need to open a bar for a person to have a drink under these circumstances? Is what I'm saying. Because persons go to a bar and it's not necessarily to have a drink, but to socialize, and in the process of socializing, they drink. Yeah, that's all some people go to bars to do, right? So therefore, with this stipulation that you have set in place, it makes no sense going to the bar at this point in time. You can't sit down. You can't sit on a bar stool. You can't sit on a table. You're going to be standing up with your mask on. Where's my mask? I can't even demonstrate. I should have my mask to demonstrate how you're going to be drinking. You understand me? And you can't say it is only for the bartender, not for the patrons, because then you're being irresponsible because you're going to have 4 persons in the bar without mask, arms width apart. You said 6 feet apart, but I mean, I've never been to a yeah. It makes no sense to me. I'm telling you, I try not to criticize our government, but I can't help but question the decisions that are made when they are made. Don't you question these decisions? Right? Comment, let me know, man. Tell me, talk to me. Let me know how you feel about this because this is crazy. I find it. When I was listening, I had to shake my head and I was reading some of the comments because I was online. Um, I had I had the phone on, and because I wanted to put a face to all the persons who were speaking, so I like to do that. So I was watching it online while listening to the phone, to the radio. Yeah, and it's just you have some bad. All I can say to you, sir, you have some very bad advisors, and it's just the truth. You have some bad advisors, man. So anyways, and let me continue now with regard to the quarantine in St. Mary. All right. So the quarantine in St. Mary continues. It started on the 7th of May, right, at 6 a.m. at the Thief in the Night operation. Because they learned their lessons from St. Catherine. And so it will continue until May 21st at 6 a.m. Of course, the Prime Minister said it is subject to whether additional cases are identified and whether there is a growing outbreak in the area. There are measures being implemented, medical supplies, and these are the stock taking your what do you call it again? Your stocking days. Yeah. All right. So the days when you can actually, the days when you're okay, when you can move around, includes Friday, May 15th. Oh, don't forget tomorrow. Tomorrow is also a good day for you. You can go about tomorrow, which is the 13th, right? You can go about tomorrow. But Friday, May 5th, Saturday, May 16th, Monday, May 18th, Wednesday, May 20th. Right? However, when you go on the road, you must immediately return to your abode or place of residence, the Prime Minister said. Now, there are some exemptions for persons who can go around. Persons who are seeking urgent medical care. Of course, sickness does not wait on anyone, and you don't dictate when sickness comes, right? So you would have someone to assist you, right? The person who is obtaining necessities should provide satisfactory proof of an identification as a person carrying on exempt duties, okay, for the purpose of travel through and to be without stopping in the quarantine areas. Okay, you are allowed to do this on 3 days: Friday, May 15th, Monday, May 18th, and Wednesday, May 20th. Okay. Note that pharmacies, okay, can operate every single day, right? Pharmacies are allowed to operate. So tomorrow the pharmacy will be open, right? Friday, Monday, Wednesday, between the hours of 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. Okay. Of course, the pharmacies are only serving prescription drugs. Okay. No other items that are not considered necessary necessities. Okay. Entities that distribute food, medical supplies, or sanitation products. Okay. In a specified area, okay, May 15th and Monday, May 18th. Okay. But in the case of supermarkets and any other place engaged in the distribution of food, such operations shall be only for the purpose of restocking and making export, not for the admission or service of customers at the business on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Okay. Restaurants and cook shops between the hours of 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. Okay. They may, however, not serve food to customers for consumption on the premises of the business. So no sit down and dine. All on them. Okay. So let me give you some more information as it relates to what the Prime Minister said. So the Prime Minister said basically that it came to him. Persons were talking about you heard that they stole some food, right, in the St. Mary area. So the Prime Minister heard it got to the report came to him. Persons were hungry. What is wrong with us as a people? Come on, people. Come on, we're not doing. Why are we doing this? I mean, seriously, why do we make it look that bad? I know there are. Let me tell you something. It's the people who are truly and truly who are people who are truly and truly who are starving. You don't see them, Understand? The people who are starving, you are not seeing them at all. The people who you're seeing doing these things, guys, are people who are not starving at all. They're the ones you're seeing doing these things. You understand? Making it bad for other persons. We gotta do better, man. We gotta do better. Yeah. So, the Prime Minister says basically that the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, they distributed approximately 1,400 packages in Dover, Enfield, and Anota Bay, right? And today, and it should have already have occurred. If not, it will be today. They expect to distribute another 2,000 care packages, right, to these communities. Yeah. So there shouldn't be an issue with food, right? The question I have though is how many persons are in these communities? Because we have not gotten an head count, And the Prime Minister says that he is going to make sure that everybody who receives food, that they sign for it. You can't just collect the food just like that. Yeah. Yeah. So we will see how that develops in terms of monitoring that. Yeah. So, according to the Honorable Carl Samuda, students will not have to sit the CXC examination in July. So let me give you that story, actually. Okay. So, according to the Honorable Minister Carl Samuda, Minister with the responsibility for education, right? Jamaica has not accepted the decision of the of its regional counterparts for the sitting of the Caribbean Examination Council CXC exams in July 2020. Yeah. I misplaced my story. Where's my story? Hmm. I misplaced my story, guys. Give me a second. Let me get back my story. Let me get back my story. Yeah, okay. Yeah, here's my story. Sorry about that. So, yeah, it said Jamaica has not accepted the decision of its regional counterparts for the sitting of the Caribbean Examinations Council (CXC) exams in July. He says that Monday's decision, he said Friday's decision, right, was made basically during an emergency meeting with the ministers of education from the region and the CXC. And only thing I'm going to say on that is to you, Mr. Minister, okay? Because that would have been crazy. When I heard that they said that they were going to have children sitting CSEC sitting in July, I was like, what are these people on? You know, what have they been smoking? Must be smoking something. You see the challenges that our students are having, right? Many of them are not online. They talk about doing online learning, but many of them are not online. And some of them who are online, they don't even understand the material. They don't understand the internet. Yes, as much as many of them are computer savvy, savvy. It's just a reality. You understand? There are some places that you are told that in those communities, they don't even have radio signal, television signal, much less internet signal. Yeah. And so, how on earth could you expect that going through what they're going through? Many of them have to be doing babysitting at home for their parents, right? Many of them are just so many different challenges that they have at this point in time. The last thing on their mind right now is sitting a CXC exam. So how on earth do you think they would be at a great disadvantage to be sitting CXC in July? No way. You understand? Could we do that? So I was very happy with that news that we did. Our students would not be sitting the come July. We will hear more about that. We don't know how it's going to plan out. Okay, so I wanted to play another clip for you, but like I said, I'm not playing the clip because as I notice right now, when I play the clip, the feed falls, and I'm trying, and it's already falling without me playing the clips. I don't want to add to that. Yeah. So, let me give you this story. So, according to the Jamaica Constabulary Force, swift response from St. James Police led to the recovery of a sum cash that was robbed during a heist in Westgate Hills, St. James, yesterday afternoon. Two of the gunmen who challenged the police were killed during an exchange of gunfire when they were confronted. A motor car suspected to have been used in the heist was also seized. Police are now searching for three other men who escaped during the gunfire. A semi-automatic pistol was recovered from the scene. So this guy is of course a developing story. Yes, I actually heard this in the news even before it was on the news. It was in the Jamaica is expecting 192 persons on Wednesday, May 12, 2020, including a defense attaché from the Canadian High Commission. Okay. So apparently Wednesday. And again, we don't hear these things, guys, until when it comes up in Q&A or, like in the case of this, it's apparently they were caught on video. They were caught on video at the Normal Man International Airport. They saw the diplomatic vehicle pick up this person and take whisk this person off like a celebrity. Yeah. So question was raised because everybody else was waiting in the bus. They said for 3 hours, right? They were waiting in the bus, and then this, what was going on here? Nobody understood. So the minister clarified. She said basically that for a long time before the borders was closed, the diplomatic corps, they had a meeting with the diplomatic corps, and so it was agreed basically that certain things would have been implemented and put in place for these diplomats to be to be repatriated. You understand? Absolutely. And so based on the protocols that were agreed upon, even before the borders were closed, right? So they went ahead and they did what they did. So she, unknowns to us, but now she's coming clean to let us know that the ambassador of the US, right, and a senior US security official, and then on Wednesday, the head of the consular affairs of the British High Commission, right, was repatriated. Absolutely. So, according to the protocol that were agreed upon, the diplomat would have been taken to the British High Commission, and there he would have been placed under quarantine. She says, right? Mm-hmm. Now, in full disclosure, she wants to also let us know that tomorrow, Wednesday, we're going to have on the flight of persons coming back to Jamaica, a defense attache from the Canadian High Commission. Okay? So, yeah. And that all has to do with the agreement that was made with the diplomatic corps. Right, that was decided before they closed the borders, right? So coming now onto coming back to Jamaica tomorrow are two flights, right? One from Florida and one from New York, right? New York City, and both of them will have 96 persons on each flight. That's what she said, which means if there are 96 on each flight, 2 nights 18, that's 192 persons, right? 96 on each flight, that's 192 persons who are expected to arrive tomorrow, Wednesday. But according to her, they will be placed in quarantine. This Canadian diplomat will be taken to the Canadian High Commission, or the Canadian High Commission will pick him up, right? They will send their vehicle, I'm sure, right, to pick up this person. And there, it's expected that they will be placed under 14-day quarantine. Yeah. She also wants the public to know, guys, that approximately 7,500 applications were received via the JAM COVID-19 website. Okay. Now, here's what you need to know about this, guys. There have been persons, because they have not heard anything further from the ministry after putting in their applications, right? They have not heard anything further. So they have been reapplying. They keep applying over and over again. And so the minister is advising persons to desist from doing that. She says not to do that. Stop doing that. Reason being, she said, if you keep applying, right, what's going to happen is that because the system is going to see, right, the hit on your passport each several times, it's going to raise a red flag. So it's not going to be for your advantage, it's going to be to your disadvantage, okay? Because when they see that, it's going to raise questions on your passport each time it is hit, right? Because you keep reapplying. So she's advising, stop reapplying, do not reapply. Once you've applied and you have received a case number, because each time you apply, each person receives a case number, that's good enough. Once you've gotten your case number, it means that they have your information, you are in the system, and they will get to you at some point in time. But remember that right now, all they are dealing with are the vulnerables, you understand? They're dealing with persons, right, with particular challenges. And the vulnerables, those are the persons who are they're dealing with right now. And they are already in talks with the consular general in Miami, right, in New York City, and the embassy in Washington. So they are quite aware, right, of the persons, because the Jamaican expats would have contacted the embassies and the consulates, and so they would have already have that information, so they know those persons who are the vulnerables and who have hardships, problems, and challenges, who need to return to the island immediately. And so those are the persons who are coming, right, tomorrow. And guys, I have some good news for you with regard to that. You remember Jodie and Farron, right? So we haven't heard much more about what's happening with Jodie and Farron. However, we know, right, because I told you that initially when I saw the post on Twitter, she was in the US because I know I saw an earlier post from her where she was jogging or she wanted to go jogging in New York City. Yeah. So the borders were closed. So no, there was no way she could have been here. So she must have been overseas. So imagine, guys, this woman is overseas and here that her daughter is dead in Jamaica. Anyway, good news. So Jordan Farron's mom, I hear, is going to be on the flight tomorrow. Yes, yes, indeed. I hear she's going to be one of those 192 persons who will return to the island tomorrow. Jordan Farron's mom, Portia. Yeah. So of course, you know, there's going to be a lot, you know, because all the media houses are going to clamor to interview her, right? So you're going to hear more. I'll have more for you with regard to that. If I don't have it for you tomorrow, Wednesday, I'll have it for you by Thursday. Indeed. So you'll hear more about what's happening with Jordan Farron's case, right? Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Okay. Okay, guys. So, I should tell you one more thing. Yeah. They want to reopen. They want to reopen the tourism industry, guys. Yeah. I don't know. Tomorrow, because I'm not gonna give a long program today. So tomorrow, because it's a story that can continue to tomorrow because it's still fresh, it is evergreen, and so I can obviously I've not subscribed or hit the notification bell, so she can only get it live once. Yeah, but you know she's an older person, so she need to have some family member to show her how to set it up so that she can automatically see when I am live. Yeah, so sorry about that. So I was saying to you now that because the story is evergreen, right? It's fresh. So tomorrow it's not too late for me to give you details and to give you my 2 cents on that particular story because there's more developing. As I understand it, Sandals is they're preparing themselves to reopen on the 4th of June. Yeah. And the only thing I'm going to say on this, because like I said, I'm going to continue the story tomorrow, guys. I'm going to give you the exact words of the Honorable Edmund Bartlett, what he's saying concerning the reopening, right, of the tourism industry, right. Out of the 117, it seems like only 13,000 were actually employed right now. Yeah. So every day I hear a different number. So these guys, they play with numbers, guys. They don't understand. God is a God of numbers. God loves numbers. You know how much God loves numbers? There's an entire book called the Book of Numbers. Yes, you can find it in the Pentateuch. Yeah, the Pentateuch, that's the first 5 books of the Old Testament. It is also, right, one of the books of the Torah, right, which is a part of the Talmud, the Egyptian, I'm sorry, the Israeli Bible. Yeah. So over 3 to 4 million people know about the book of Numbers, basically, right? And when you read the book of Numbers, you see how much God loves numbers. So God is a God of, even though I'm supposed to be, they say I'm creative, I'm right brained, I'm creative. But even though they say that, I still love numbers. I love playing with numbers. Yeah. And so when I hear these people throw numbers like that, they don't know that I sit down and I calculate these numbers and study these numbers that they're throwing out there. And their numbers are not adding up, guys. They're just throwing numbers at us that are not adding up. But like I said, tomorrow I'll give you my 2 cents on this particular story when I give you the full details about what's happening in the tourism industry. Because I want to know, my question is, when you open the tourist industry, who is going to be coming to your to your hotel? Who do you expect to book? Because many of these airlines, they are not flying. Okay, some of them have gone under, some are going under. They have to wheel and come again, as they say, yeah? The ships, we still have 2,000 persons on ships that have not no arrangement have been made for them to return home. And we got to deal with all of those issues, you know? We got to mop up. We got to mop. We got to clean up. I mean, you're so desperate to reopen because nobody want to tighten their belt. This is a belt tightening time, guys. This is a time of belt tightening. You tighten your waist, lion man. You eat if you used to eat 1 pound, you eat half a pound or a quarter pound. It's a belt tight, but nobody wants to tighten their belt in this time. And you want to rush to reopen this and rush to reopen that. You understand? Without actually solving the problem that we're facing. This is a problem solving time, guys. It's the time to wake up and to recognize, you understand that you're not behaving right. The things are not going right. There are so many issues that need to be dealt with. That's what you're supposed to be using the time to do. Not rushing to try to open anything, right? When you have right now, out of the 63,000 persons who are supposed to get the little set grant, right? Less than 10,000 have gotten. Huh? That's an issue that has to be dealt with before you talk about reopening anything. But like I said, tomorrow I give you my 2 cents. This is not my 2 cents. Yeah, no, when I give you the story, then I give you my 2 cents. Yeah, guys. That's it. Is there anything else that I need to give for today? I cannot wait until tomorrow. Let me see. No, I think I've given you everything for today. Whatever I've not given for today can stay until tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow is another day. I'll give you my 2 cents on that. Yeah. Okay, guys. So I have come to the end of the program. I know I have to make a playlist out of this because of the interruptions. I apologize again for all the interruptions that we experienced. I recognize that I even lost my audience because of the interruptions. I am really, really sorry, guys. Okay. I have no digital and flow, right? This is why we need to have competition in this country. We need more licenses to be issued. We need competition. All you are, what are you doing? We need to see you doing something proactively as it relates to the digital and flow, because we cannot be spending our hard-earned money and we're not getting quality services. Even in the press conference yesterday, you saw the speed was fluctuating at the office of the Prime Minister, right? Come on, we got to do better than this. We got to do better than this, guys. It can't be business as usual like this, yeah? Okay? And so again, like I said, I'm sorry that the feed fell, but I hope that those persons who will be able to go and watch my playlist, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the different videos together and make a playlist and then submit it so that you can get to watch it, quote unquote, seamlessly. Yeah. Yeah, it is what it is, guys. I have no control over it, like I said. So I'll just make a playlist. Just watch the playlist, and you'll be able to see everything, seamlessly. Yeah. Okay. Thanks again. Thanks for watching. This is Omega Live with JJ, Woman Without Borders. Okay. I pray for the day when I will have uninterrupted programs, right? Uninterrupted programming. Okay, but until then, it is what it is, right? In everything we give thanks. Okay, even we take the bitter with the sweet, the good with the bad, right? They say sometimes coffee, sometimes tea. Guys, remember to share the link with your friends and family. Okay, remember to subscribe. Okay, and also I realize you also have to click the notification bell. Is it the bell, the notification bell? You have to click that also. I think that's what you have to definitely do to be noting. Stay blessed and be a blessing. Love you. Bye.